Hola, soy Aldo. ¿Qué pasaría si un asteroide del tamaño de ese que se piensa que destruyó a los dinosaurios estuviera rumbo a la Tierra? ¿Podríamos irnos a algún exoplaneta que es candidato a ser como la Tierra? ¿Cómo reaccionaríamos acá? ¿Simplemente nos agachamos y nos hacemos bolita? ¿Seguro te has preguntado eso, sí o no? ¿No te has preguntado eso? Disculpa, no me meto más en tu vida. Este video es diferente, es una recomendación. Surge en parte a una entrevista que hice hace unos días a una astrónoma y también en parte al video que hicimos acerca del James Webb hace unos días. En el video anterior hablamos sobre el telescopio James Webb y todo lo que podría ayudarnos a conocer y descubrir. En realidad es muy fascinante todo. Varios me han dicho en los comentarios que se me notaba muy emocionado y es que sí lo estoy. Como todos los que hemos estado esperando este lanzamiento durante mucho tiempo. Pero las preguntas también de los comentarios me hicieron pensar sobre la posibilidad de que uno de estos descubrimientos que nos entregue el James Webb sea Tierra 2.0, sí o sí. O sea, me refiero a que esta vez sí sea, porque lo que tenemos actualmente son candidatos que están dentro de la zona habitable. El James Webb podría confirmar cuáles son los que tienen una atmósfera respirable, tal vez. ¿Pero es esto suficiente? Hace unos días vi la película Don't Look Up, no mires arriba, la pueden ver en Netflix, y en ella se presenta un escenario como el que mencionamos al principio. Un cometa de esos que son gigantescos y apocalípticos se dirige a la Tierra y se presenta la opción de irse a otro planeta. La película me gustó. De repente algunos difieren de mi opinión, pero para mí sí es diferente, es una comedia que no parece comedia, o sea, sí da risa, pero trata un tema muy serio que incluso ha sido planteado en la película con asesoría científica. Además de esto lleva un mensaje profundo sobre la ciencia, las creencias, la polarización que todos estamos viviendo hoy en día y otras cosas más que si lo ven pues se van a dar cuenta. Realmente hace pensar mucho, se los recomiendo. Tuve la oportunidad de hablar hace unos días justamente con Amy Mainzer, la asesora científica de esa película. Ella es una astrónoma estadounidense especializada en instrumentación astrofísica y astronomía infrarroja. Pude hablar de muchos temas que se tocan en la película, pero no les puedo poner la entrevista completa porque tiene varios spoilers. Pero sí me gustaría compartirles lo que tiene que decir ella acerca de algunas cosas sobre los asteroides, sobre si es que tenemos otra Tierra para escapar, o su opinión con respecto a la confianza que se tiene en la ciencia y también su opinión con respecto a la película en sí. A ver si se animan a verla. Y dejándoles la entrevista me despido de una vez, como dije al principio, esto solamente es una recomendación. Disfruten estos días, no dejen de cuidarse por favor y que tengan felices fiestas. Hasta la próxima. And the first question I want to ask, and I think everybody will want to know this after watching the movie, is how likely is this scenario in real life? Why a comet instead of an asteroid, for example? Which one is more likely to hit Earth?
This is a really important question. The good news is that it's extremely, extremely unlikely that any very large object, like the one that we see in the film, would ever hit the Earth. That's the good news. That said, smaller objects, smaller asteroids, we still have a lot of work to do to map out where most of them are, the ones that are big enough that can cause severe damage on the Earth. So we are looking, and the world space community is really trying to find more of these objects so that we can spot them in advance.
Extinction asteroids type were a threat millions of years ago because there were more remnants of the formation of the solar system, but not now. So is that correct? Or
Yeah. No, you've got it right. Very early on in the solar system's formation, there was an epoch called the Late Heavy Bombardment, where you could kind of imagine the asteroids and comets in our solar system kind of got stirred up and scrambled, if you will. But this was a long time ago, about 4 billion years ago. At that time, there was a huge flux of asteroids and comets coming inward and bombarding the Earth. Now, these objects still hit the Earth, but it's much less frequent today, which is good news for us. Now, I will say there are plenty of long period comets like the ones you see in the movie. These are objects that come from the outer parts of our solar system, and they sometimes come into the inner part. That is very realistic. We do find these objects. However, space is humongous. It's really big. So the chances of even a large comet impacting the Earth being at the same place at the same time is very, very small. But the movie explores that possibility.
Now, escaping the comet, how about the planets on the Goldilocks zone? Do we have a candidate that looks really good where we can move in, or we have to wait until James Webb's launch, maybe?
Yeah, this is this is one of the really, so there's good news and then, not as much. But I think the good news is we now know of the existence of zillions of planets. They are all over the place. The Kepler Space Telescope, for example, confirmed the existence of thousands and thousands of new planets. However, most of them are not like the Earth. They're not even the right size, or they orbit their suns too close. They're too hot. So far, we know of a few candidate objects that are in the sort of same size and orbital zone, that Goldilocks zone, but that doesn't mean that they're truly habitable. They could be like Venus, totally awful, a terrible place to live. So we still have a long way to go. Maybe the upcoming James Webb Space Telescope will help us to find more places that are more Earth-like. That said, this is the very best Earth-like planet that we know about right here.
But still, with that telescope, we're gonna be able to know the composition of the atmosphere, maybe, and do you think that will help us to get some more information about if we can go somewhere, or is not that enough information to choose a planet?
Even if we were to find the most perfect Earth 2.0 planet out there, we will never go there anytime soon, because we don't have the technology of the propulsion to allow us to make these giant trips. Even the closest star would take tens of thousands of years to reach for us with our current technology and the laws of physics, the way that we know them. All of which tells me, as a scientist, that this is the planet we really want to spend our effort taking care of, because there is no Earth 2.0 that we can ever get to in reality.
The trust in science is presented also in this movie. Do you think people now trust science more than ever, or is it the opposite? What is your perception?
We've all been living through this unprecedented time with the pandemic, where we can really see trust in science being put to the test. And we can see that science denial of science is costing people their lives. It's really important that people understand how science works, and that they can trust science, because we are trying our very best to learn how the world works so that we can make better decisions about all kinds of things like the pandemic, climate change, extreme weather, all of this. I really hope that people take away from this movie that scientists are human beings, and we're trying our best. We hope people will trust us.
How about if you tell us your opinion about the movie in a general way, not only the astronomy part?
Yeah, this is a movie that really tackles the challenge of what do you do as a scientist when you learn something that isn't necessarily good news? How do we convey that message? How do we get people to act on it? Because as scientists, we can't always take the actions that are needed to mitigate a disaster, right? In other words, we can provide information about it. We can say, hey, this is happening, and here are the steps we need to take to solve it. But we ourselves can't be the people that do that. We're not in charge, right? So the movie really tackles this process of trying to learn about the universe, about the way the world works, and then try to convey what we're learning. So I'm hopeful that the movie will resonate with people and will make you think, and it will also make you laugh.
Well, we have reached to the end of this interview. Once more, thank you very much for the opportunity, Amy. Until next time.
I really appreciate getting to talk with you. Thank you so much.